podcast.
Yeah, after this podcast, I'm going to get a workout. Oh, we are? Okay.
And we are live, the Irish Podcast, episode 9. And my panel has the reputation of being real gamers, the reputation of talking about things that matter in gaming. But tonight's going to be a little different, people, because it's time to address these fanboys, the haters, and the people making the gaming community look worse day by day, every day. Okay, you know who this is. This is your host, the Titanfall Princess. And before we get started, panel, introduce yourself and tell us what you've been playing.
Who's gonna go first? All right, it's Porter Rock. What's up, everybody? It's Porter Rock, your boy, Porter Rock 77, your host for the 60 Frames No Lag podcast every Wednesday. I just got back from a business trip, so I've been rocking with Street Fighter 5 and Dying Light. But today I picked up, in the mail, finally came in, is my copy of The Last Guardian. So I'm going to be rocking that game right after the end of this podcast. And hopefully, maybe in a couple of days or a week or so, I'll be able to give up a review about the game or whatever. But that's what I'm doing, man. How's everybody else doing up in there?
I'm doing. I'll go next. Yeah, what's up, yo? This is your homeboy, Sinister Tar Heel. And it's the latest game. I played Princess in Street Fighter 5. That's the latest I got. I'll also, probably start on some Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And stuff like that, just to mix things up. But lately, I'm just working 60-hour weeks right now. So basically, I'm getting slammed with peak season. So my only days off is the only time I can get more gaming time in, though. But that's all I have.
This your boy. Yeah, I was about to say, this your boy, the real young Kano, the brutal landless gamer. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for having me on here, Titanfall Princess. I know I'm not sounding like I'm excited today. I'm not really in a good mood today. Apologize to everybody. But the games I've been playing, I just picked up Dead Rising 4. I'm playing that right now. I'm about to play Final Fantasy 15. You know what I'm saying? I already got Final Fantasy 15 on PS4. You know what I'm saying? But I got it for a relative of mine. You know what I'm saying? But it's technically for me, but a relative of mine be playing it. But I'm also getting on the Xbox One, and yeah, all I've been playing on PS4 is I just finished Infamous Second Son, and now I'm playing Ratchet and Clank. You know what I'm saying?
Cool, nice. Okay, well, we're gonna jump right into this, okay? Because it's gonna be one hell of a night, and I hope everybody who has haters out there come and join us and understand what we're saying. And anybody here that has something to say, please just say it. It's about time these people get addressed, okay? Now, we're going to start off with PSX is over, right? But best gaming show this gen. And I know my panel ain't going to deny that overall, compared to some of the other ones. Now, the NPDs rolled in. Put out the worst in people again. Now, I'm not a subliminal person at who I'm talking about. I don't do that. So let's get into it, people. People like James Gordon, lining articles, first of all, and being roasted by what they call subreddit community, okay? People like Crap Fucking Gamer, damage control about console sales, taking shots on podcasts, even though the guy is never on the Xbox leaderboard. People like Dryer Smith, another liar. Oh my God. And I saw this past week. Loads of Xbox people hating on Ironwolf because he got a PS4 for games. I'm tired of keeping quiet about these things. There's an elephant in the room, and it's not just Crap Gamer, okay? It's an elephant I see only a few podcasts have the balls to address. And I'm one of them. My podcast, okay? I mean, just the other day, okay, you have, what is his name? Live Wires getting on air saying, how was his name? Hideo Kojima, balls smell like rice, okay, and making Japanese jokes. First of all, how would you know, you nasty ass? And this shit is ridiculous in the gaming community. But let's get back to the Ironwolf situation. Why is he getting so much goddamn hate? Even by people that say he was that was his friends, because he got a PlayStation 4 because he wants to play games. Your take on this, anybody? What I just said with these people?
let me go ahead and say this, man. People probably feel like that with Ironwolf because they say in the beginning like Ironwolf was strong by the Xbox head, and they saying he switches sides. Personally, for me, if you want to play a PS4, that's on him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to judge nobody on what their preferences or what they play. You know what I'm saying? That's his decision. You know, just take it and leave it. That's on him. You know what I'm saying? Like particularly, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? What a person plays or what a person gets, that's on that person. So the people that's like fanboys that want to get mad over the situation, so be it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because people be feeling like, you know, he's turning the other side. That's how, like I said before, the console war ain't never going to be over. It's going to keep going on. Fanboys is going to keep going on. And people just want to play what they want to play. You know what I'm saying? And people got to just realize, man, at the end of the day, we are all humans. Gaming is just a hobby. It's something that we love to play. And it's not that serious. It's not serious at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just games.
Exactly. And the funny thing is he didn't flip sides because a lot of people that talk, they don't even have gamer scores, okay? He's over 100K, all right? And this is actually, people are stupid because he actually changed his name, and he had over 60 there, so he'd be at almost 200K now. Okay, so these people are talking, calling him a flip. Why? Because he wants to play some other games that we don't have on the Xbox? That's why I'm a multi-console owner, because there are games I cannot get on the Xbox. I want more games. But anyway.
I mean, yeah, because I love variety and stuff like that. He's like, that's something I like, you know, that's only on that system. You know, it's tied to that system. I'll play it. If this game is fun, I want to play it, regardless of system. So be it, man. I don't care. I mean, I'm not into like all that, you know, all that fanboyism. It's like, oh, he's like, you're a traitor. So I'm like, no. I mean, I've gamed for a long time, way before some of these fuckboys were even born and stuff like that. And I mean, I play, you know, where the games are at. I mean, yeah, because we had a discussion like this on Reels podcast, like, you know, like for Microsoft, I was like, yeah, I wish for them, then, you know, to put out some more games, because basically Nintendo's ahead on points. Sony's definitely ahead on points because what they showed at the PlayStation Experience, I mean, shoot. I was like, man, then it's like, hey, it's time to step up or, you know, put up or shut up. I mean, come on.
I mean, there's two parts to this. From the multi-console owner perspective, isn't that the point? Because every console at a certain point is going to go at a low. One minute you could be like, man, PlayStation ain't got nothing. I'm playing my Xbox all the time. It's the better console. But then a couple of months later, the script flips. But isn't that the advantage of being a multi-console owner? That way you actually don't lose out. At any point during your year as a gamer, you're getting something from somebody. That's the advantage of being a multi-console owner. You don't lose. You know, sure, the PlayStation may not have gaming you nothing over the holidays, but come January, it's going to be the console to play while your Xbox is on the back burner. But then come next holiday, who knows? You might be playing your Xbox again. But all throughout your year as a gamer, you got everything. Your whole year's covered because everything that you bought is giving you gaming. You understand what I'm saying? That's the one thing a lot of people are forgetting. That's the advantage of being a multi-console owner. You, as a gamer, don't miss out. You understand what I'm saying? So one console may have a low, but the other one has the high, and then vice versa. And I think the Xbox community, the fanboys, are missing that point. Like Ironwolf, he supported the Xbox One all throughout, but now it's hitting a low point. Mm-hmm. So as a gamer, he wants to stay on the high, so he's going to look at the PlayStation. Doesn't mean he doesn't like Xbox One no more. You understand what I'm saying? It's just the advantage of being a multi-console owner. You're going to flip the script, and this time period, you're going to enjoy this console, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's not saying the Xbox One sucks. You understand what I'm saying? But I think some of the fanboys in the Xbox community, they talk a good game about criticizing the PS4, saying, oh, you know, we're gamers. We just want the product to be better. We want it to be like the PS1, PS2. And they're all cheering like, yeah, that's it. But as soon as criticism goes back to their house, now they want to block people. They want to say, oh, that's bullshit. Microsoft is perfect and stuff like that. They can't accept criticism. You know what I mean?
I say like this. It's on both sides. Both sides do the same stuff with fanboy wars. It's like I agree with what Porter Rock said, but at the same time, it's on both sides of the fence. Both sides do the same stuff. Both sides of the fanboys is going to act the same way, saying, "Well, Xbox ain't got no games," or PlayStation ain't got no games. It's both sides of the fence. At the end of the day, being a multi-console owner, like I said, I own an Xbox One. on the PlayStation 4. I play games that are like, they talking about they ain't got no exclusives. Both of them have exclusives to play. You know what I'm saying? If there's like for instance, if you look at The Last Guardian, honestly for me, I'm not interested in the game. I don't want to play it. For Horizon Zero Dawn, I want to play that. Shenmue 3, I want to play that. There are certain games I want to play on the PS4. There are certain games I want to play on the Xbox One. You know what I mean? So at the end of this, all with this console war and how people was acting, you know what I'm saying? It just, to me, I feel like most of the time they're doing this to be YouTube famous, and don't really take the initiative to really like sit there and have fun enjoying the game. I feel like when they do make these videos, they don't enjoy gaming. They just enjoy the drama. They enjoy the beef. They enjoy, you know what I'm saying, to keep it going on, to make themselves feel good because they might have insecurities personally to the point where like they ain't got nothing going on in life. I look at gaming, like I said, as a hobby. You know what I'm saying? I look at it as a straight up hobby, and it's just something for me to play it in my spare time. But gaming is not my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't wrap around my life involve gaming because there's more things that's going on in this world that's serious right now, and people or the fanboys are so wrapped up in this console war that they just want to feel superior to something that they can't be superior to in life. You know what I mean? Just,
okay.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you on that. I honestly think that people don't have lives, and that's why they do it. They don't have jobs. They don't have lives. And if they say they have a job, well, then you wouldn't be on social media. You wouldn't be doing 50 podcasts a week, morning, noon, and night. Okay, you wouldn't be doing that if you had something going on in your life, if you had a life yourself.
There's one thing. I agree both sides or have their fanboys. But I'll put it this way. Have you ever heard a PlayStation dude say, American white boy guy jeans shit sucks? You don't hear those racist shit coming from the PlayStation fan. You don't hear a PlayStation fan saying American companies should just be bombed and America it don't matter or any shit like that. Or European developers don't matter. You don't hear that from us.
They can't say that because they live in America themselves.
That's what I'm saying.
If they say that, they'll be a bunch of hypocrites for saying something like that.
But you don't see us saying European games suck either. You don't see us taking games to the cultural level and insulting a culture. You don't like. I mean, hell, the day on December 7th, Pearl Harbor, a real legit history. Members of the Xbox community are tying that to console gaming. How are you going to bring up a real event with consoles? PlayStation don't do that shit. We don't say 70 years ago Japan bombed us. Now they're trying to bomb us again with PlayStation. That shit's not funny.
No, it's not.
I was away. Like I wasn't on internet. I wasn't on social media. I wasn't on anything when I heard about this.
Even if you didn't read it, it's there. You could go back and look it up. You know, but PlayStation fans don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta find out who said that. Like I said, I don't know who said that.
We don't take that shit to that level. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, they might say haha X-Fags, and I don't agree with that term either. I think that's a derogatory term because you're talking to a person. So I don't agree with that either. But again, you're not going to see PlayStation fans tie cultures to the console and then insult the culture behind it. They're not going to insult European gamers. They're not going to insult Canadian developers. They're not going to insult none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But the Xbox, they literally try to say Japan don't matter, they're rice eaters and shit like that, as if that impacts gaming. Never mind that anyone who claims to be a gamer for a long time, we all started with Japanese consoles. If you're an old gamer, and a lot of the Xbox dudes, then we all play Japanese. Because there was, unless you're going back to Atari, the industry was saved by the Japanese. Nintendo saved the industry for console gaming in America. And then Sega came along, another Japanese. NEC was Japanese. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just, so if you have to damage control of success by insulting a culture, that's just taking it to a whole new level. You just escalated the fanboyism to a plateau nobody else has went there before. You know what I'm saying? And you have to ask for why. Why are you going to that level? Why are you even mentioning Pearl Harbor at all with console gaming?
Exactly.
It doesn't even make sense to even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with that. What happened on December 7th, which also led to America into a great war where almost over 200 million people died across the globe, has nothing to do with console gaming at all. It doesn't even make sense. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why I think the Xbox community, for those fanboys, are looked at much harsher, is because they say harsher shit. They take shit to a whole new level. You know what I'm saying? When you take shit to a whole new level, you're going to get the limelight. You understand what I'm saying? So I agree both sides have fanboyism, but dudes in the Xbox community took it to an area that even people who aren't into gaming, when they hear this shit, they don't understand. Like, holy shit, what the fuck is wrong with these people? It's like it's tripped out at the comments. They say.
Yeah, I didn't. Like I said, I was away. I didn't hear nothing about it. But once I find out, we're gonna see what's up. Because like I said, I didn't hear about it.
And one thing I am going to say, when it came to both communities, and I was on both sides, I got more hate, more problems, more shit said about me, more threats ever by the Xbox people, not by the PlayStation people. Okay? They had said some things, and I tell you something, those people came back and actually apologized, said, oh, I was just listening to such so-and-so said. I really do apologize. I should not have just went by hearsay. I should have looked up my shit. Okay? Apologize, never said another thing. Sends me nice messages, does all this all the time. Xbox people have not come back, ever said they were sorry. I was threatened to be murdered, raped, beat. Okay? Talked about my family. All came from the Xbox community. Okay? Now, there were a couple people on PlayStation side that did it, but in comparison, it was nothing.
It's crazy.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. Does anybody want to add anything else to that subject? If not, we can move on or
Nah,
whatever.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is it's surprising me because like I said, I don't pay attention to social media. Like, only thing I be putting on my social media, all I do is promote my videos, promote my music, and that's the way to be. If people talk to me, people talk to me. I don't pay attention to the constant world because at the end of the day, that's irrelevant to me. You know what I mean?
No, but my shit that I was talking about, they were like spamming my Twitter. Spamming it. That's why at one point I even stopped. I took it down because I was tired of people just spamming it with bullshit. I put it back, but you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's move on then. All anyway, right. Moving on to the NPDs. PlayStation 1, okay, with the PlayStation Pro dropping and The Last Guardian coming out. I think that many people, excuse me. Oh my God, I'm so pissed off right now. I think that they may have played a role, and once again, going back to the toxic people of this gaming community, all over, videos are being made back to back about the Xbox making the biggest comeback in history and ending the PS4. That didn't happen. It's not going to happen. Microsoft tends to have a strong ending. Always been that way. Okay, it's almost been the same. Like I just said, since strong sales at the end of each year, while PlayStation dominates the entire year, save for Christmas season. Okay, what would it take for you as a gamer to change Xbox for the better? Now, for me, more advertising, better games, more games. Because I'm tired of Halo, Forza, okay? I would like the Xbox to at least have one platformer game, at least have a new exclusive fighting game. Because right now, a lot of people, including myself, have said Killer Instinct isn't cutting it. Okay, I want more titles. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
Yeah, because Microsoft has the big three. Your Halos, your Gears, your Forza. Yeah. Forza Killer Instinct, of course, that's tied to Xbox. But still, I'm like you. I was like, we need some more variety. And have something to cater to the other fans, not just the hardcore, because the hardcore is going to stick to those main three. But you're going to have a different audience.
I'm a hardcore gamer. Yeah, but I'm a hardcore gamer, and I like variety.
Yeah.
They play everything. They don't play just a couple games.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that some of the Xbox.
Oh, the ones that call themselves hardcore and only play a couple games. I get you.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. But yeah, I'm just like you. I'm hardcore too, but I like to play different things. Not just the same three. It's like, hey, I need something different.
So, have y'all heard of rumors there about the Rise to Empire and there's a possibility they're gonna bring Fable 4 to light?
I think that rumor, because it didn't really come from no developer. I think it just got to a point where another gamer said it, and now it's spreading within the community to where it's almost real. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You won't
You won't see no source, no tweet, no nothing. So,
No, that's what I say. If you ain't heard from the horse's mouth, then it's just a rumor. So that's why I say like we'll see what Phil Spencer have to say. Eric Greenberg and some other people, and then HP brought some to our attention. I looked it up. One of the programmers from Microsoft, they have 15. They do have 15 games that's under development. They haven't announced yet, which is cool, but I'm just waiting to see. So my thing is this: for the tennis to Titanfall Princess's question with Microsoft, what I want to see from Microsoft is, yeah, we do need Japanese games that's playable. We do have the Japanese games to play, even though it's multiplayer. We still have Japanese games to play, and that's what people stress. And I understand that people want exclusive Japanese games. Yeah, it's just patience. It's a virtue. Be patient, because you never know what's going to happen from now until the next Xbox or the Project Scorpio, whatever. You never know what's going to happen. Just be patient and just wait. You know what I'm saying? Until then, just do what you do. Play what you want to play. Have fun. You want to play PlayStation 4? Play PlayStation 4. Stop with playing and just play your game.
Now, there's another. I mean, there's another not to cut you off is we need some hardcore studios up.
Yeah, I know, and Microsoft have the money to have studios. Only one that I know of that's really trying to do something with the tablets and HoloLens and games is they got a new studio up that they built from the ground up called Left London. You know what I'm saying? That's in London right now, and that's their new studio they just built up for games and stuff like that. So I know they're working on a few titles over there, and I know they're going. I know Microsoft. I know they're trying to get more studios up. They're trying to put more towards gaming, but they should just stick to how they were with the original Xbox, the OG Xbox, and just make more of a variety. And hopefully, if these fanboys would say they play their games, go support their games. Dead Rising 4 came out, go support it. That just came out. Even though it's a time exclusive, I have it. I just got it today. I'm playing it, and so far I'm enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Just get out there, play your game, so we can see sequels. Because I would love to see a sequel to Sunset Overdrive. I would love to see Rise. If that rumor is a true Rise, that Rise to Empire. You know what I'm saying? I want to see more variety. I want to see Fable 4. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Blinks. I want to see all these other games. I want to even see if they can make it exclusive to Jade, like a sequel to Jade Empire or a reboot. You know what I'm saying? I want to see new games. You feel me? I want to see a variety myself.
I'll say this. And Sony may have the advantage because they also deal with entertainment in terms of movies and music and shit like that. But advertisement goes a long way. You can't advertise a game 3 months out. You understand what I'm saying? Look at movies. We just saw the brand new trailer to Spider-Man. That shit don't come out till next year. We knew what Marvel was doing all the way out to 2022. Like, we all know Infinity Wars is coming, right?
Yep.
They announced that shit 2 years ago.
2018.
You can't say you want Sunset Overdrive to sell, yet they don't do no advertisement. How do you know? See, you got to look at all the popular Xbox fans. We'll take Tim Dog, for example, right? Probably one of the most vocal pro Xbox dudes out there, right? He always talks about Xbox, right? If you look, he has about 8,000 Twitter followers, right? That's a lot. But there are 25 million or more Xbox owners. So he's not talking to even a fraction of the market. Microsoft can't rely on Twitter and YouTube to get the word out. You have to go through TVs and posters and billboards. You understand what I'm saying? If a gamer doesn't know, like for example, that's where I was getting to when you was talking about it. That's what I was getting to. Yeah, who here seen a Scalebound commercial?
No.
Anybody? Crackdown commercial.
Or Cuphead.
Cuphead commercial.
Nope.
Like on TV.
Nope.
But it's supposed to sell? How? Nope. Well, who here saw the Xbox One commercial that says, hey, it's a 4K Blu-ray player? Everybody saw that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's on Monday Night Football, but we don't see commercial on games. How do you expect Crackdown to sell if you don't advertise it? And you can't wait till 2 months out. It's too late. Because let's say if you advertise Crackdown 2 months before it comes out. Let's say it comes out in October. Everybody knows Red Dead Redemption's coming out in fall. And Rockstar's going to advertise the fuck out of that game. So who's going to give a shit about Crackdown when all they see all year long is Red Dead Redemption 2? You see what I'm saying? You have to get the word out there. You have to tell. See, we know because we'll go to Phil Spencer's Twitter. We'll go to the Xbox page on the YouTube. We will go to the source because that's what we do. It is our hobby. But for most people, unless it's a post in GameStop or they see it on TV, they don't know about it. They have no idea what's coming out. None. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I mean, you made a good point. There's another thing.
You want a game to sell, but you don't tell nobody it's available. Okay, then how's it gonna sell? It's the casuals that bring you the big money. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I see more commercials on Final Fantasy 15 for Xbox than I do see, Scalebound coming, Crackdown. You want to tell people now so that way they could talk about it, and they keep talking about it, and they're gonna talk about it until they get sick. When you get to that point, everybody in the Xbox community, every owner that owns an Xbox knows about Scalebound, knows about Crackdown. It's not a last minute decision. When you walk in the store, you're like, oh shit, what's this? Oh, this is Scalebound. Oh, that's cool, but I came into the store to buy Red Dead Redemption, so I'm gonna get Red Dead Redemption because that's what I've been thinking about the last 4 or 5 months. Scalebound is just something
And
I
that's
learned
what
today.
I know the most about.
I'm not gonna buy Scalebound the day I see it. Most people ain't gonna do that. If I walk into a store and I see a brand new Sony game, and that's the first time I hear about it, I'm not buying it. I never heard of this before, so why would I buy? Like, shit, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna learn about it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna buy a brand new IP from a PlayStation the day I walk into the store. That doesn't make sense. If I never heard about it, I'd be like, man, what the fuck? Where did this shit come from? Fuck that. I'm gonna go to the store and buy, Horizon. That's what I've been hearing about the last 2 years. That's what I'm gonna get.
Or The Last of Us 2.
Or The Last of Us 2. You understand what I'm saying? You're gonna get games you've been hearing about. The hype's been going about. What's the fine line? I remember when God of War came out. It was a brand new IP. It came out 2005, the same year on Xbox 360 launch, right?
Yep.
But God of War was advertised like a motherfucker. You couldn't watch TV without seeing that commercial. And I say that's the fine line between God of War and Rise becoming your version of God of War. It's advertising. You want your game to be treated like a big top tier title? You gotta advertise it like a top tier title. You know what I'm saying?
Treat it like one. Treat it like one.
Yeah.
Tell people about it.
You want people to look at it?
Of course.
Treat it like it.
Hold on. Let me say that. I agree. My thing with Microsoft is, as a company, they're a good company. They make their money. They need a better marketing staff,
right,
to help market and get their products on point.
Yes.
Even though I'm in business with marketing, so I know what it is. I know with Microsoft, they're not doing a great job in marketing, because even with Record is a good game, deserves a sequel, but they did not market the game on TV. They don't. I say I did. I seen it on computer. They did do it, marketed somewhat, but they should have did a better job marketing it, and that's why they're not succeeding. You know what I'm saying? The Project Scorpio, I know all they doing is been promoting these consoles, but when certain games come out, like usually what you see with games that they market the most on TV, you see Halo, you'll see something like with Gears of War and
Forza.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the big three they'll go ahead with. You know what I'm saying? My thing is this: they need to do more with marketing to help get the games. The fanboys and YouTube not going to cut it like that. You know, so like Porter Rock says, it's a true statement. It's a true statement. But
because not everybody's going to look at YouTube just for game advertisements. I mean,
exactly.
Because people want to see it on TV. Other than a lot of times, people don't want to read the magazines or go on. You can watch it on TV. You can go online, but still, I mean, you got to promote the heck out of your product. I mean, yeah, you need TV and TV marketing. I mean, you just made a good point about the consoles. I mean, that's all they're doing well in the console part, but they're not doing so great in putting more games out.
But
and like Porter Rock said, you got to advertise. I mean, keep getting that word out before don't put it out like 2 months before the release. Yeah.
I just lost my train of thought. Sinister. See what you did, bro.
Yo, I remember before Uncharted 4 came out, it was one of the comic book movies. But you know how they give you the previews? They do bullshit commercials. Then all of a sudden the light goes down. They start showing the previews of every movie, and then the movie comes out, right?
Right.
I remember me and my wife, the first preview saw was Uncharted. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, yo, that's fucking brilliant. Because mad people are there. They're not going anywhere. They're all paying attention to previews. Now you see a PlayStation exclusive. You know what I'm saying? And they wonder why that game sold so big. It's because it got advertised. From the movies, from commercials, you put that shit everywhere, it's going to sell. Because it's all about awareness. It's awareness.
I mean,
at the end of the day.
I mean, yeah, because you remember when Ratchet and Clank came out right before the movie hit the big screen?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that was a great game, even though the movie sucked, but that's just me. But
and I've done advertising, I've done marketing, so I know what they're missing. Okay, and you can't say, well, it's always say we don't have a big enough budget. Listen, I know what it's like to advertise. You can get with any place where you advertise, and there's contracts where if you do, it comes out cheaper if you do so many promotions per year. Okay, there's different genres of ways of advertising. It ain't just, TV. It ain't just YouTube. It ain't just this. It ain't just that. Go to sports events. They got banners. They got the things they put posters up. PlayStation does it.
I would say this.
And people say PlayStation is broke. They say they're broke.
I will say this.
Can't be broke if they can advertise.
Sony.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sony doesn't have the money Microsoft has, and I agree with that. It's just Microsoft, that corporation as a whole, is fucking huge. They're fucking one of the top companies in the world. I mean, their money train is longer than train smoke. We got that, okay? But what people don't understand is its priority. For Sony, PlayStation is their number one product. It's their number one division, the SIE division.
Right.
So that gets all the attention. Xbox is not the number one division of Microsoft. It's not. It's not even near the top ones. That's not their priority. Even though they were treated good, it's making money, but we all know it's the IT arm of Microsoft that's their number one thing. The IT services, the operating system, Windows servers, even Surface. You see Surface. There's a lot more advertisement on their Surface tablet than anything else you see on TV. That shit is everywhere, that Surface tablet. So it's obvious the Xbox division isn't their primary division for Microsoft. That's not even nowhere near the top. You understand what I'm saying? So it's also the companies, what they put as their priority. Obviously for Sony, PlayStation is their priority. So you're going to see more commercials, more advertisements, because that's their thing. That is, Sony's becoming more and more of a gaming company than they are electronics, because that's their number one thing now. While Microsoft, they're all about cloud.
I agree with that.
Yeah, the software.
OS, they're all about IT, government contracts, all that shit. That's their money. That's why they're the richest. They're not the richest company because of Xbox. They're the richest company because of IT.
Yeah, billions and billions of dollars.
That's where their money is. 90% of their money is IT. That's what it is. It's not gaming. It's IT. Think of the Zoom.
Right.
Zoom, that was supposed to be a big part of their company. We don't have Zoom no more. They left that shit off. Look at their phone. Their phone, little by little, is going away. But the IT.
Yeah, Porter. My thing was is that Xbox itself, as an entity of Microsoft, has their own budgets to do stuff with. Okay, you set say $500,000 aside for it. Okay, for the advertising part. Just say, for example, you could do with $500,000 if you do it right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So they have to have each entity has their own budget. What are they doing with that budget? What are you saying? Okay, we only have $1,000, so we're going to advertise twice. Come on, they got to have more money in the budget to advertise of the Xbox portion of Microsoft in its own division. Each division has their own budgets to do what they need to do. They're not. I don't see them using the budget that they have to do anything. That's my issue. Advertising and marketing. If you can understand what I'm saying.
I feel you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. They have to each. I understand what you're saying. You're right. That Microsoft, that's not the biggest part of Microsoft. I agree with you on that. But they do have their own budget. About the Xbox portion of Microsoft, they're not doing what's right for the Xbox. They're not. That's all I'm trying to say when it comes to advertising and doing what they need to do. But just wanted to throw that in there. Anybody else want to add anything to all that?
Yeah, because there's one thing. Well, before Sony made their comeback, before, like Porter Rock, their PlayStation was their number one, because lately, before that, their electronics weren't selling as much.
Yeah.
The movies weren't, doing great at the box office and stuff like that. So basically, they had to dip that money from the PlayStation, from that division, because think about, with that failure of Ghostbusters that just came out a while ago. They lost $78 million. So basically, they had to dip into the money where the gaming division just to recoup the cost and stuff like that.
It's just to me, it just seems like Sony, is more relying more to their games, since they're not making ends like they talking about when it comes to the movies, and they can do much more. That's just how I'm looking at it right now. Their main focus, they're really trying to make sure that to keep the game in the focus. Sony's not really doing as well in other departments like that.
Yeah, that's their number one priority. The PlayStation division is their number one division in the company now. It blew past any other by a lot too. It's their number one focus on that one. So obviously, if you're in charge of the PlayStation division, you the fucking golden boy of the company. You get what you want. If you go be like, hey, and the end of the big thing is the man who controls PlayStation, Kaz Hirai, he came from the PlayStation division. So he has ties to that. So you know he's gonna side with that division more than the TV or the movie division or stuff like that. You know? And I think that's how the PlayStation division was able to get the publishing rights to Spider-Man, because you know they leveraged the movie rights on Marvel, because Marvel want the Spider-Man as part of their movie cinematic universe.
Yeah, the MCU.
You know, they want the Spider-Man bad. So I'm pretty sure Sony's like, you want to use Spider-Man bad? Give us the rights to make games exclusively. And they're like, Marvel don't give a fuck about, you know, gaming like that. So like console war, or they don't care about that. So they're like, yeah, sure, here you go. You have exclusive rights to make Spider-Man games. Just give us their permission to use Spider-Man on movies. Done. And now you see what I'm saying? So Sony's even willing to use their movie division to support the PlayStation division. You know what I mean? Because that's the number one priority. That's the golden boy of the company. You know what I'm saying? So when you have that type of focus, you're gonna get more stuff. You're gonna get more advertisements. They're gonna leverage whatever they can to support that division, whether it's through movies or television, whatever, and stuff like that. And with Microsoft, you know, the Xbox division is not the golden boy of the division. You know, I would say even Surface probably has a bigger budget than Xbox at this point, because you see a lot more advertising, a lot more commercials on Surface tablets and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see a lot more. I'll put it this way. A while back, when they were talking about cloud computing, Phil Spencer made a tweet about, oh, you know, if PlayStation wants to use cloud, they could use it. And that pissed off a lot of Xbox fans. Like, yo, why would you use something that's advantage to Xbox and allow your competitor to do it? But come to find out, Xbox division don't control cloud computing. It's a totally separate division. They control the cloud, Azure cloud services. So I'm pretty sure whoever's the CEO or in charge of that division, he's not gonna fucking be like, yeah, he's gonna be like, fuck you, I'm not gonna let this just for Xbox. If Sony wants to use it, I'm gonna make that money. This is my division. Your division and what you do has nothing to do with my division, because I have to report up to Nutella or Nadia just like you do. And I'm not going to lose income from my division just to support Xbox when you're not even a priority. Fuck that. If Sony wants to use cloud gaming, they got it. You know what I'm saying? And some people didn't understand that. Phil Spencer has nothing to do with the cloud computing service. He's not in charge of that. But the guy who is, he has to bring money. You understand what I'm saying? And he's not going to lose revenue just to support Xbox. That's not, he has to feed his family too. He has a responsibility to report to the shareholders of Microsoft too. And if he has a chance to make crazy amount of money providing services to PlayStation 4, that's what he's going to do. He's going to be like, fuck that. If Sony wants to use Azure service to make the games better, it's happening. He's going to fucking deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with Xbox or whatever. It's his division, and he personally has to report his profit margins to Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Phil Spencer made that tweet. You know, he's trying to make it look like the good guy, but the truth is he has no choice. He doesn't control cloud services. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's just the policy of the company. Because at the end, again, Xbox is not their number one priority. You know what I'm saying? So if cloud services can make crazy money, or for Sony, hell, remember, Sony used to make computers. What was their OS? It was Windows. You know what I'm saying? So every division is trying to make money on their own so they could report to the shareholders. And that's what matters. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what matters. Why you report to the shareholders. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to hear, well, the reason why we didn't make most money in cloud services is because we refused a contract from Sony, but hey, it made Xbox look a lot better. They're going to be like, what the fuck? Hell no. We're not trying to hear that.
They're going to give him a pink slip.
They're going to be like, you fired. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I said.
Donald Trump, you're fired.
Anyway. You're going to fire your ass.
Exactly. Well, let's move on. We're going to move on to next month. Nintendo will reveal more about the Switch. And in the gaming community, I've seen a lot of people excited about the Switch. For me, if the Switch is a combination of getting the good games 3DS gets and a regular Nintendo console, it could be successful. But I don't think Nintendo has the right message behind the Switch. And I think we are way too early with impressions of what it will be. Will this console be a traditional console with some handheld features? Is it just a handheld console that can hook up to your TV? Is it going to be 4K ready? Will it have third-party support? Questions like these is what I'm curious about. So, for you guys as a gamer, what does the Switch have to have for you if you're interested in it?
Only thing I'm gonna say is until I see more about it, ain't really nothing else to really talk about. Everybody know what they know about it so far. It's just really nothing else to talk about until we find out more about it next month.
Yeah, because I kind of like in the wait to see, categories like, like
It feels what I do, yeah.
because I mean, it's cool. Like like when you're at home, just leave it on the dock. I mean, you got a pro controller you can use for your hands instead of like using those Joy Cons. But I mean, yeah, when you take it out on the go, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, if you're gonna be, somewhere, it's gonna be you can be dealing with waiting periods. Well, there you go. You got something to enjoy for a few hours up until your appointment, whatever business you got to handle and stuff like that. But I'm more interested in what's the launch titles, what's going to be, what's going to be games released at launch. That's why I definitely want to see, it was like, if they like something I like, to see that comes out on day one. Like I was like, heck, I mean, I don't mind, pre-ordering it and stuff like that because I mean, here the Switch comes out in March. By that time, a lot of people's gonna have tax money. And everybody's gonna be, everybody and their mom's gonna be rush out and they go get it, and stuff like that. But and of course, you're probably gonna have someone kind of flip it on the internet.
That's probably why they launched it at that time for tax, because tax money is gonna be there.
Exactly. It's like, and of course, I mean, you gotta think about it. People getting, bukus of money back. Think about it. Stores that be sold out. What's the other place they have to go to? Then the internet and stuff like that.
True.
Yeah, because they'll go to Craigslist or eBay. Things that be selling over $1,000, just like with that mini NES classic.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, yeah, because that was Nintendo's fault because they didn't have enough supplies, and those who were able to get one, I mean, they were buying like X amount of quantities, and guess what? They're selling on the eBay for $2,000 to $5,000 a pop.
Yeah.
And you got to imagine if they get the Switch, if they didn't have enough, consoles for the Switch in stores, and people who wants one really bad, they'll go to eBay. They're willing to drop whatever they have to get one.
Yeah, that's true.
I would say
you want to add anything to that?
So I would say for the Switch, I think it's going to sell like blockbusters in the beginning, but Nintendo really needs to get their message right, because the message is sending out right now, I think could hurt them in the long term. Now, did anybody see the unveiling on Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, I saw it.
So you saw how they introduced it again. He was playing on the live screen, right? So everybody sees him playing. He's playing on a controller, and then they popped it out, and that's when and Reggie said, "Now this is what makes it the Switch." He popped it out, and he says you could take it on the go. So once again, Nintendo's saying that this is a home console that you could take on the go. Now the problem with that is, the one thing we do know is the specs. It uses a Tegra processor, which is a mobile processor. Only mobile platforms uses this type of processor, and it has 4 gigs of RAM. The Xbox One and the PS4 launch with 8 gigs of RAM. So this console is not going to get a lot of the current gen platform. You understand what I'm saying? So if you keep advertising the Switch as a current gen platform, guess what people are going to compare it to? They're going to compare it to current consoles. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not going to meet the snuff. It's not going to pass the litmus test. You understand what I'm saying? Based on the architecture they're using, the Tegra and the 4 gigs, it's clearly a handheld. It is clearly a handheld. They need to advertise it as that. So that way people don't confuse the message. Because once this thing goes into the house and people compare it to an actual console, they're going to be like, man, this thing's a fucking weak piece of shit compared to everything else. You understand what I'm saying? And then that's where the bad fucking feedback and the bad vibe saying. You understand what I'm saying? When people are buying this
Yeah.
console, and it's not even doing something that Xbox One did, 3 years ago. They're like, man, this thing's not nowhere near. And then by also advertising it as a console, they're gonna expect basic console features that we got in terms of PSN, network and Xbox Live. And Nintendo has been terrible with their online network. You know what I'm saying? So they could be setting themselves up for the long term to where people just constantly criticize, saying they're not getting the multiplats, or the multiplats they do look terrible compared to Xbox One or the PS4. The online suck. You know what I'm saying? Simply because they're not looking at it from the perspective of a handheld, they're looking at it from the perspective of a console. You know what I'm saying? So I think Nintendo needs to get their message. They need to admit what it is. It's a handheld that you could play in your house, and not a console that you could take on the go. You know what I'm saying? Nintendo
Gotcha.
aligns. If they align this with other consoles, they're going to be in trouble, because that's when everybody's going to compare it to. Because that's what Nintendo is saying it is. Nintendo's saying it's a console. So if you want to say it's a console, fine. But when we compare it, don't backpedal on some shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you get your messaging right, saying, people, this is the next handheld from Nintendo's great line of handhelds. The only difference is we made it easier for you, and we gave it good enough hardware so you could put it on the big screen and enjoy it without, loss of fidelity and stuff like that. People could relate to that then. They'd be like, oh, shit, we get that. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that when I'm home, I don't have to play on the little screen. I could just pop it in and play on the big screen and enjoy the same game that I enjoy on the go. That's understandable. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's going to compare it to a PlayStation or to an Xbox. They're going to see it for its unique capability and for what it really is. So I just think Nintendo just needs to get their message straight.
Yeah, because another thing, because like Reggie was saying, because like when it came to the Switch, one thing he said, it's not about the power. We're not focused on power. We let the big two handle that. And then when you mentioned the specs, because that's what you're saying, because the specs for the Switch is running half of what the big two are having.
Yeah, see, and that's fine if it's just a handheld. That's perfectly fine. Just get your message right. Just call it what it is. It's a handheld.
Yeah, because it's confusing.
It's a handheld that you play at home. People will get that. It's an easy message. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't detract from it. It doesn't make it an inferior product. It just makes it a different product. And I think that will be a better message for Nintendo. No, this isn't a home console. You got Xbox and PlayStation for that. This is a handheld, but we're giving you the opportunity that when you're home, you can easily play it on your TV without losing graphic fidelity. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to render a handheld with a handheld trying to render it on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? So you get nice quality rendering on a big screen TV. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a console. It's just a handheld, and people can respect that. People will be like, yeah, that's cool. I could dig that. You know what I'm saying? And then it'll be fine.
Then I think it'll sell better for those people who are interested in something like that if you promote it the right way. So hopefully what I could say is hopefully on the 12th of next month, we'll talk about it in the proper manner, and hopefully it'll do well, because I don't really want to see them do bad either. I don't want to see Nintendo do bad. Hopefully do well if they explain it the proper way and talk about what for it.
Because we don't. No one wants to see another Wii product, Wii fail or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see them fail.
Yeah.
So
because the Wii was the awfulest thing they ever released since the Virtual Boy. They have a few decent titles on there, but like I said, they had lack of third-party support. And so there's times, and Nintendo has been notorious of this. They have been known to burn some bridges and stuff when it comes to third parties and stuff. Especially, I can tell you the top one. There's major bad blood between it, and that's Rockstar. Because have you noticed, like, ever since they released the trailer for the Switch, it was on the same day that Red Dead Redemption 2 was supposed to release their trailer.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Look, the Nintendo Switch, like, honestly, to me, it's a mixture console. If you look at it, it's a home console to an extent, and it's a handheld to an extent. They already said that they're not doing away with 3DS. They're still making games for 3DS. But right now, their focus is on trying to get the games and the best quality of games to its potential for that Switch. That's what they've been saying. So my thing is this: I'm just gonna wait and see what they have next month to offer. Until then, we're just gonna have to wait and see. and
it's not that far off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll see if it's worth the purchase or is it not. You know what I'm saying? We seen Zelda so many times. I'm tired of seeing it now. I just want to play it. I want to see a new Mario game. I want to see Metro. I want to see Donkey Kong. I want to see all these games. I want to see even new IPs that they're talking about. I seen screenshots of their new game called Seasons of Heaven. You know what I'm saying? I seen their screenshots of that. They look that's a beautiful looking game too, with the screenshots so far. So, like I said, I want to just wait and see what they have to offer before I make my final decision if I want to buy it or not. Until then, it's just all talk. That's water under the bridge right now. Right now,
True.
Everybody's focused on PlayStation and Xbox right now until we see something for Nintendo that's spectacular. So until then, let's just wait and see because next month ain't that far away.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's right around the corner, man. 2017 is around the corner.
Yep.
It is. I'm ready to almost wrap it up. I do have a closing statement, but before I even do that, I want to know if anybody has any topics that they want to bring up or anything they want to talk about or anything before we close out the show for tonight. Anybody have anything they want to add?
All I'm gonna say is like this for me. With this YouTube drama and people that have been knowing me since I've been on this YouTube drama, I don't bother nobody. I never did nothing to nobody. All I do is talk gaming. Y'all rarely ever see me make drama videos. So people that keep attacking me over their preference or being flip-flopping and being fake and being fraudish on this YouTube community just to be kissing somebody's behind and being a follower, not a leader. You know what I mean? And everybody know me that I don't bother nobody. I don't have no beef with nobody. Some people's channels I don't care about. I don't watch because I don't care about the drama. And I'm gonna say this: a lot of people that do these YouTube channels and a lot of people that be talking this gaming community stuff really lost their identity because their mind is so wrapped up in this YouTube community. This gaming stuff is just a hobby.
Good point.
It's just really a hobby. People should have lives outside. If you got a job, that's cool. Get your money. But people have to have another lives, take care of their family. You know what I'm saying? Provide for their family. Me, I just got out the hood because I was going through stuff back in the day. And I don't usually tell nobody nothing personal about my life. You know what I'm saying? So people that be talking all this, making these threats on the other person's purpose of gaming and stuff like that because of what they like, something's wrong with your life. You know what I'm saying? You must got insecurities, you must got problems, must be something wrong logically in your head. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd rather be a leader than a follower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't kiss nobody's behind. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no kiss up person. That ain't me. That ain't my stilo, you heard me? That's me being me, and I'm real about what I say. People in the chat might say different. It is what it is. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But people need to just stop being fake on these YouTube channels and be real for once in their life.
Absolutely.
Because people in this YouTube community just live a life of lies and just have a preference. Everybody got their preference. That's cool.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna talk about their disagreements. That's cool. Everybody want to try to get nowadays. Everybody want to get personal. This is the end of the year. And in the year, they don't usually have much to talk about in the gaming community, so they resort to making bashing videos about one another. Y'all notice that at the end of the year, they usually do this. They usually make videos bashing one another just to get fame. And this is the thing when I look at YouTube, is they want to do bashing videos. They want YouTube fame because they like it so irrelevant and invalid. People don't want to talk games no more. They want to talk dramas just to make themselves feel good about themselves, make them feel relevant.
Yeah, it's the bad thing about these fuckboys. I mean, heck, these are grown ass men. I'm sure they got wives or girlfriends and all, but heck, they're too busy obsessing about other men and stuff like that. I mean, come on.
If they obsess about other men, they must be homos or something.
Yeah, exactly. Grow up.
They must be homos or something. I don't know what's wrong, man. Like I said, it hasn't even been a year for me on this gaming side of YouTube. I've just been on YouTube for the music side. I ain't been on this side for the gaming side. I've been on here for just about a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And last year, I peeped the game. I peeped the scene. I peeped what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I peeped everything. I know what's up when I came in this YouTube community. I know everything. I know who people is. I knew who people is. I checked out everybody. It's about peeping game and understanding who's real and who's not. You know what I'm saying? If you don't just if you take the time to just go off of what people say and just judge another person and not really peep the scene out clearly, then something must be wrong. You got to really peep game. You got to peep game and peep what's going on before you make critical choices and make critical decisions and judge another person without even really seeing what's going on.
True.
You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. And that's what I was saying earlier, that people were starting to apologize because they were just going by what somebody said without.
Yeah,
So I agree with you 100% on that.
Like I said, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to talk everybody's heads off. You know what I'm saying? I just been dealing with a lot of drama of people lying on me and trying to drag my name through the mud. You know what I'm saying? And I'm at that point where I'm just tired of it, bro. Because I don't take this gaming stuff serious. I play games as a hobby. You know what I'm saying? It's not my life.
Yeah.
I got a life outside of this gaming stuff. I live reality. I'm a realist behind what I say. I live a reality.
Yeah, because like, you know, us here, we work and we have lives outside of gaming. And stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, gaming is not my life. I mean, I can't sit at home and sit there and play games all day. It's like, no, I'll be homeless and stuff like that. I'm sure others, you know, people have that mentality. You know, I'm gonna sit home and play games all day. I mean, you need to reevaluate your life. I mean, come on, get up and get a job. Get out and do something.
Yeah.
And people talking about like, oh, you gotta pick a side. I'm not picking no side on console when it comes to consoles. Even though, like I said, it ain't a secret. My preference is Xbox. It's not no secret. But like I said, I don't discriminate. You know what I'm saying? Every console got their pros and cons. I play the PlayStation 4 too. But when y'all catch me, y'all mostly gonna catch me on Xbox. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not going, I call what I see. If there's something I don't like on Microsoft, I'm going to call it out. If there's something I don't like on Sony, I don't like, I'm going to call it out. Same thing with Nintendo, same thing with PC. You know what I'm saying? There's no levels to this gaming stuff. You feel me? I'm not on this YouTube for no drama. I don't care about the drama.
Nah, you just keep it for gaming.
Yeah.
I keep it gaming. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying not to be mad. I'm trying to stay calm. And every time in the podcast, y'all see me happy, joking around, having fun. But today ain't that day for me. Because I don't bother nobody. I'm chilling. I'm calm, cool, collective. I got love for everybody. Even people who are talking down on me. I'm not going, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna hold it against you because, like I said, if you talk to somebody about somebody, knowing you ain't gonna do nothing, that's just internet thugs and internet trolling. That nobody really live what they say. You know what I'm saying? So I see people that be on here telling me I'm gonna kill this person. No, for a fact, probably never held a gun in your life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when it comes to this gaming stuff, people just live in that Call of Duty life. You know what I mean? Living that Call of Duty like that Battlefield lifestyle, like they really gangster like that and over a console, and it's funny.
And then that's weird enough. Like you got guys having console wars like 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Like your ass should be asleep.
I know mine is.
I'm usually up at 5 o'clock. Getting ready for work. I don't got time to be sitting arguing over plastic.
And I don't spend my hour, like I said, I play games most of the time at night. I play during the day sometimes, but I mostly play my games at night. It's nighttime right now. You know what I'm saying? Going on like 7:30 right now?
It's 8:30 here.
7:30 my time, and on my only concern is like right now, you know what I'm saying? I got something to do outside of this podcast that ain't got nothing to do with gaming. It's something I got to do personally. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people that be
because you have a life.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like people that's in these groups, in these YouTube community making videos, making up on videos, bashing and then do drama videos. It's just like I feel like they have more insecurities with themselves, you know what I'm saying, to the point where their life is really evaluated to the point. I feel like if somebody would actually don't have YouTube and they like miserable, they the type that will do some crazy stuff. And they end up either them in jail or dead. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel when it comes to, I don't know, people might take what I said, make videos about it and flip the script and make it seem like I said something bad. I already know that's probably going to happen down the line. I'm not worried about that. You're just going to amp up my channel more. So that's how I feel. You know what I mean? So I don't, I really don't care.
But you see, I want you to speak your mind. So
Yeah,
that's what this is about. We're supposed to be able to speak our mind, have our thoughts and opinions, and speak our mind about how we feel.
Exactly.
And that should be on anything. And nobody should take it to heart, because if nobody ain't talking about you, be mad about what somebody said. Now, if you're in that category and it hurts, it must hurt for a reason, because he's telling the truth then.
Mm-hmm. And it's just me. I'm just speaking my mind off of basically what I've seen. I'm not gonna say this person's name. All I'm gonna say is, man, I vouch for this dude. You know what I'm saying? He was always in the parties with us and everything. And this dude all of a sudden flip flopping, now you kissing behind and all that being fake. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I can go in on this dude for hours and hours on end because of what this dude did. But I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's not you.
Yeah, it's not just, no, I could do it if I want to. My thing
I know, but it's not something you generally do, though.
No.
Yeah, I don't do it because at the end of the day, it's not worth my time. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth my time.
Yeah.
The one thing I understand, like, if you're doing this as a YouTube, for your YouTube channel, as a personality, for the sake of entertainment, like Zaire, you hear him bash PlayStation a lot, but he knows he does it for entertainment. But what he does in real life, in terms of interacting with gamers, he'll play with anybody. Like, I just played with him the other day on PlayStation in Street Fighter, and he streamed it on Twitch. He's streaming PlayStation games on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? So he knows the difference of providing entertainment, you know, just because he knows, you know, people who watch YouTube love controversy and they love the shit talking.
Exactly.
But that's all he does. But when he's done with that YouTube shit, he will play with it.
But he's also said that, though,
Yeah.
Rob.
And he says it all the time. He will remind people, I do this shit for entertainment. You know?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, he'll stream PlayStation games on his Twitch channel and not his Xbox game. Not because he's picking a side. He just does what, you know, he'll be like, hey, I want to stream. I'm like, yo, I don't got an Xbox. I'll play with you Street Fighter. He's like, fuck it, then we'll do Street Fighter. He just wants to play and game and shit like that, you know? And that's the fine line of being a YouTube personality. But once you take it to the real world, and you're like, whoa, bro, we used to fucking play games on the party chat. Now you're trying to flip the script on me because you like PlayStation now? That has nothing to do with us just playing games.
What I'm talking about, what I'm talking about ain't got nothing to do with games, bro.
Okay. Oh, so this not even out. So this is just. I thought, because I know you were talking about the PlayStation.
No, this ain't got nothing to do with games. Or what I'm talking about, bro.
Okay.
It's a whole different ballgame.
Somebody in the gaming community. I know who he's talking about.
Yeah.
Somebody in the gaming community that started shit with him for no reason.
Yeah.
Because they acted a fool. They wanted somebody to blame it on. So basically, that's what happened.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't care. I don't care if the person plays PlayStation or Xbox. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I know Puerto Rico. You already know you're a PlayStation guy. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Sinister. He's a multi-console owner. Titanfall is a multi-console owner. I own multiple consoles. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't deal with fake people that like to drag my name through the mud and lies that shouldn't even have nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but they did it because of like console or something totally different.
It was totally different.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I thought the dude was just like went sideways and involved.
Nah, it was something. It was something that I'll talk to you more about it when the podcast is off.
Okay.
Yeah. Want to add anything to this? Up.
Last of Us 2.
Yeah, Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2.
Oh my goodness! Just seeing that trailer. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, when I like I said, when I saw that trailer, I'm like, man, forget everything, forget everything that the PlayStation experience just talked about. I want to play that game right there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's an early development, and it looked that good. Imagine when it's done.
Yeah,
That's Naughty Dog. I mean, you got to think about Naughty Dog. I mean, the way they storytell. I mean,
Naughty Dog's crazy with that shit.
there's there's another thing I want. You know, this is suspect. It's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I'm very suspect because seeing the gameplay trailer, it seems like they're going back to the same 2-on-2 that the first one did. There's something else, and everybody's up in arms about there's no X-Men. It's like, because a lot of people like to play with Wolverine and Deadpool and stuff like that.
Oh, Capcom announced that X-Men is involved and they're gonna be part of the season packs.
Okay, DLC.
Yeah, DLC. So they slick because they'll know that's the one DLC that sold the most. Is once they start including X-Men. So the motherfuckers. But yeah, they're part of the season.
Yeah.
So X-Men. So once they do like a Wolverine, Cyclops, and this, everybody's gonna buy it. So they know Capcom knows what the hell they're doing, and that's a trend in fighters now. The whole season, season 1, you get 6 fighters in a couple of stages. Season 2, and that's just gonna be the trend from on now, from here on out.
That's what I like about Killer Instinct. It's like, hey, you got that free game, but you got all those seasons and stuff coming out. Like,
Yeah, they just built. So that's what they're doing.
Then you know about they're gonna do a season 4. Then there was a rumor and actually Ed Boon actually confirmed of a Killer Instinct cross Mortal Kombat game.
Now that's another rumor. There's not going to be a cross game because Midway and Warner Brothers not going to share the IP. Because if they do, they technically just made an exclusive for Xbox, and Mortal Kombat's too big to be.
Yeah, but he confirmed. Basically, it was confirmed. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Edmund tweets from months back, he did basically confirmed it. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, we'll just see how it goes for next year. Because like I said, there's still stuff we haven't heard on the Microsoft side. And then I'm waiting to see what's going on with Nintendo. So we're just going to have to wait and see what's going on next year. Because it's just the end of the year, man. We don't know what's technically going on. Okay. Everything's up in the air with Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. But just see what happens. It's just 2016, 2017, just next month. So let's see what's up.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I have a statement I want to make before we wrap this up and we do outros. I want to say that, so we're almost December. It is the end of the year, guys. The end. 16. It's right around the corner. I want to say that I'm glad that certain things happened to me this year. With meeting new people, the PlayStation community have been nothing but supportive. And the people that watch these podcasts, not just but Kano's podcast, Border Rock's podcast, okay? I would like to say that I hope next year is a better year for gaming, for YouTube, for all our podcasts, okay? I hope the people wake up and take the time being brave enough to speak against the things instead of hiding behind things. Speak up for what you don't like. You can do it constructively and as an adult, okay? I like the fact on these podcasts with each other, guys, okay? Because we agree, we disagree, but we're still friends. The gaming. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm glad my podcast started. I met you guys. And there are some people here, unfortunately, that I hope they're listening and can hear what I'm saying because they usually join, okay, and guests and everything else. It's for all you guys, too. I am so glad because we have a good time on our podcasts. I want to say to everybody in the chat and here, I mean, you're going to hear me next week, but I want to say that I hope that everybody enjoys all our podcasts, and I want to thank you all for watching, okay? Just let you know, I'm going to be sending a note out because I got to get with the people on my podcast because I'm going to switch it up from Saturdays. Okay, I'm trying to figure out the right day for everybody. Okay, so my timeline. Okay, and to find out when the next podcast is going to be. Okay, so we're going to start with that outros. Okay, so we're going to let Kano go first.
It's your boy, the real young Kano, the Broody guy in this game, and I want to, like I said, I want to say sorry to everybody if I haven't been joking around and stuff like that. I've just been not really in a great mood, you know what I'm saying, of dealing with personal stuff and, you know, other stuff that's going on. But thanks for having me on here, man. Like I said, man, it's been another good podcast. Thanks for having me on Titanfall. Shout out to Porter Rock and Sinister, man. You know what I'm saying? Good people to have to talk to on the panel. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. If y'all need any banners, man, hit me up, man. I'll get you right for a good price. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no expensive person that will charge an arm and a leg for a banner. You know what I'm saying? To do a banner for, it's only like $20 for the banner and clip art, $15 for the banner, $5 just for the clip art. You feel me? I do it right, and I do everything high quality. Believe that. Don't believe me? Ask Titanfall Princess. I do it right. And ask Tuck. Ask a lot of people. I do good work. You feel me? So, like I say, you know.
Yes, he does.
And go ahead and you know, help me with that 200 subs, man. Sub to my channel, man. More gaming content coming, and let's keep the positivity going with the gaming because this year's been full of that bull crap. Let's get the positivity of gaming, and let's keep it gaming. Let's talk games. You dig what I'm saying? Oh yeah, and the Game Section podcast Monday nights at 6 o'clock Central Time. Tune in, another good podcast to talk good gaming. You feel me?
Yeah, I was gonna say you forgot to talk about your podcast.
Yeah.
Sinister or Puerto Rock. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Hey, what's up, man? It's your main man, Sinister here, and I also enjoy Titanfall Princess. Fighting to the podcast. In the chat with Kano and Puerto Rock. Great topics, and like I say, you also can find me on Kano's podcast on Mondays. I'm also on Real Gamer 27's podcast on Thursdays. And outside of that, you can find me on Xbox or PlayStation and things like that. And of course, my YouTube is for Sinister Tar Heel, and you just drive on by if you want to see some content, and also support everybody else on here on the panel. And that's all I have.
You're up, Puerto Rock.
All right, hey, what's up, everybody, man? I want to thank Princess for having me on this podcast again. Man, it was great talking with Sinister and Young Kano as always. Young Kano, Little Wayne's second cousin out of the 5th Ward of Louisiana.
No, man.
No, it's good, man. It was a great conversation, man. You guys, I learned a lot in this podcast. I appreciate it. Everybody else that's out there listening to us, thanks for hitting me up on YouTube, on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I'm the host of the 60 Frames No Lag podcast. You'll catch Irish Princess there too, along with HP and Video Theory. And you can hit me up on Twitter, PuertoRock_AAGE and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying?
And I was on one previous episode.
Yeah, he was a guest. You gotta check that out. You know what I'm saying? Young Kano got that shit lit this past Wednesday. That shit was crazy.
You already know.
Yo, that shit was crazy.
Don't worry, I'm gonna be back on the podcast soon. Whenever you want me on there, let me know.
Hell yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming by. But anyway, that's it.
Man, for sure.
And now this is the Titanfall Princess, and you've been watching the 9th episode of the Irish Pog Princess. Okay? Listen, thank everybody once again. The panel for coming. The great information you all talked about. All the people in the chat, I want to thank you for supporting us here on the Irish Podcast, okay? Thank everybody. Stay tuned and check out my messages for when we're going to do this again. I just got to get my panel to find out what good day is good for them. All right? So I'll keep I'll keep all you guys in tune with that, okay? You all have a good night. Thanks again for watching.
But don't they love you,
I'll
though?
see you soon.
Don't they love you, though?
Oh, yeah. And you know why that you're going to stay tuned? Because y'all love me.
I don't forget.
Every time.
That was for you, Kano. Especially for you.
For sure.